Hello and welcome to the Titi Mafuta podcast. I'm your host, Titi Mafuta. Today's commentary is going to be on Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Today's commentary is going to be on Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Now I'm going to start off with Kyrie Irving, known as Uncle Drew. Now, Uncle Drew, who currently plays for the Brooklyn Nets. If you had watched my first episode where I spoke about Kevin Durant requesting a trade from the Brooklyn Nets and I called Kyrie Irving problematic. Now, fast forward to this current time, to this moment, this past week. Kyrie Irving had a rude awakening, ladies and gentlemen. Kyrie Irving had a rude awakening. Now, why do I say that? If you're not familiar, Kyrie Irving has 1 year left with the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving has 1 year left with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, a player like Kyrie Irving, who's in the top 20 current best players in the NBA, what usually happens when a player is only left with 1 year on his contract and he's playing for that team, whichever team he's playing for, that organization usually offers him a supermax deal, an extension. It usually offers a player an extension. Kyrie Irving was expecting an extension contract from the Brooklyn Nets, a supermax contract from the Brooklyn Nets, and he didn't get it. Now, I'm going to quote something by Sean Marks, who is the Brooklyn Nets general manager. This is what he said at a press conference. Verbatim, I'm quoting. He's like, when he was asked about Kyrie Irving and his future moving forward with the Brooklyn Nets, this is what he said. We're looking for guys that want to be part of something bigger than themselves, play team basketball, and be available. That goes not only for Kyrie Irving, but for everybody here. I'm going to say it again. We are looking for guys that want to be part of something bigger than themselves, play team basketball, and be available. That goes not only to Kyrie, but to everybody else. This is what Sean Marks, the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets, said at a press conference. In other words, they don't see themselves in the future at this current moment with Kyrie Irving after his 1 year contract. They don't see themselves with Kyrie Irving. That is why they haven't offered him a supermax. And guess what? Right now, during the trade season, Kyrie Irving's valuation is not as high as it used to be. You know that saying that says yesterday's price is not today's price? Yeah. Kyrie Irving's price has gone down, ladies and gentlemen. The only team that really wants Kyrie Irving are the desperate Los Angeles Lakers. I'm sorry to say this. Respectfully speaking, the only team that wants to sign Kyrie Irving at this very moment is the Los Angeles Lakers. They're desperate. There's no general manager in the NBA league at this moment who wants to sign Kyrie Irving. Nobody. No general manager wants to sign Kyrie Irving. Woo! And he is by far in the top 20 current best players in the league right now. And no one wants to sign him except for the desperate Los Angeles Lakers. Whew, that has to be a blow. Now, this is what I think is going to happen. I think Kyrie Irving's manager had to sit down with him and say, listen, buddy, No one wants to sign you right now. Nobody wants to sign you right now. So this is what you're going to do. You need to be on your best behavior if you want the money. Because we all know Kyrie wants the money. He wants the money. And he wants that 4-year contract as well. It's also for like, his ego. He wants that supermax. He's 30 years old and he needs that supermax. And it's funny because I think, when was it? I'm not really sure. But there was a time when Kyrie Irving was like, oh, I'm going to retire at 30. You got 2 babies now. Retiring at 30. It's not happening now. So now he wants that 4-year supermax. So this is what we're going to see from Kyrie Irving this year. Kyrie Irving is going to be on his best behavior. Kyrie Irving is going to spend more money on his body than he's ever spent in his entire NBA playing career. Kyrie Irving is going to be on his best behavior. It's going to be military style. He's going to be the first one in the gym, the last one in the gym. Why? Because this year for Kyrie Irving with the Brooklyn Nets or with just the league, it's a hit or miss. It's a show and prove. He needs to show and prove to people that I am a team player. I'm a team player. All those social justice things, he's going to zip it. He's going to keep his opinions to himself. Or in the privacy of his home, or within the comfort space or safe space with his family members. He's not going to be on social media saying whatever current social, civil justice thing that'll be going on. He's not going to air his comments. He's just going to be quiet and play the game of basketball. Injuries are going to be minimal. I will not be surprised if Kyrie Irving were to at least play 70 games. I will not be surprised. Why? Because he wants that supermax. He's going to do whatever it takes for him to get that supermax, whether it's from the Brooklyn Nets or from any other organization. So he's going to be on his best behavior. When his coach calls him, it's going to be, yes, sir. I'm joking. But you get what I'm trying to say. He's going to be on his best behavior. And we are going to see big time shots from Kyrie Irving in close games during regular season. We're going to see them. Oh, I think he's going to ball out like we've never seen it. Oh, we thought, when Uncle Drew when that Uncle Drew name started floating around when he was early in his career, he was the handles, everything. Woo! We were like, this dude is amazing. He's going to put on a show this season. He's going to put on a show. And I will not be surprised if Kyrie Irving is going to now be out to dinner with, his teammates, or he's going to be playing golf with his, like Seth Curry in downtime. He's going to be doing that. Why? Because he was trying to show the organization that, I'm cool with people. I'm okay. I'm cool with my teammates. That is what we're going to see from Kyrie Irving, because he wants that supermax. Whew. And I think if he does that, if he shows up this season, I think Kevin Durant might stay. In all honesty, I think if he shows up this season, I think Kevin Durant will stay. Because I think Kevin Durant just wants some form of commitment from Kyrie Irving. He wants some form of, like, do you have my back? Because I came to Brooklyn because of you. So I think this season, Kyrie Irving is really, really going to show Kevin Durant, like, you know what, dude, I'm with you. I'm willing to give this another go. So I really expect the Brooklyn Nets to do well this season. I really do. Do I expect them to be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference? I don't think so, because you still have Giannis and the Bucks there. But I really, really think the Brooklyn Nets are really, really going to, they're going to put on a show, especially Kyrie Irving, especially Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew is going to put on a show. Trust and believe. He's going to put on a show. He's going to put on a show. Now, I think that's it for Kyrie Irving. Now, let's go to this next guy, James Harden. Now, James Harden took a supposed pay cut. He was like to Del Murray, "Oh, I need a pay cut for this current season, so you can sign however many players. You can get me the best players in order to win." Now, with James Harden, I believe, again, for this season, with James Harden, it's a hit or miss. It's a show and prove. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, James Harden has not played like the MVP he was voted for. Let's be honest, respectfully speaking. Let's be very honest. I don't know. I'm not sure if some of you watched the 76ers Game 6 of Philly versus Miami Heat. Man, the guy was a no-show in that game. A no-show. And I've always said, like, if you look back to, I think it was 2015, when Houston was playing against the Golden State Warriors. James Harden, a no-show. Like, and I remember when I was watching with some people and I was like, guys, this makes no sense. This guy is like a no-show, and the most crucial games. And I was like, he needs to be investigated. Like, for real, something is not right with James Harden. Regular season, he balls out. Come crucial playoff games, MIA. What? Like, what? Now, this season for James Harden, first of all, James Harden is out of shape, ladies and gentlemen. James Harden is out of shape. Like, he's really, really out of shape. Considering the amount of money they pay him, he's out of shape. After spending 1 year, okay, this is what happened, James Harden. He forced a trade from Houston, right? Because he was saying, I want to leave Houston because I'm chasing championships. So I want to go to Brooklyn. That was his reason for going to Brooklyn Nets. He gets there. Dude puts on weight. Like, respectfully speaking, he doesn't work out. He wasn't working out. And for those who don't know, James Harden has a thing for exotic, clubs, strip clubs. James Harden likes strip clubs. In Houston, he had strip clubs. He was a regular, visitor at strip clubs. So he could, relax. He likes to relax. Now, when he got to Brooklyn, I think maybe the strip clubs were too gentrified for him. But he was just putting on weight. So Brooklyn wasn't working out for him. And besides that whole Kyrie Irving drama, he's like, I want out. I'm going to Philly. He went to Philly. Maybe the exotic clubs were to his liking. And then he started playing a little bit better, But Game 6, he didn't play well. So I think this season for James Harden is a show and prove. Even though he signed a 2-year contract with the 76ers, I don't know how long James Harden plans on playing in the NBA. I wouldn't be surprised after the 2 years he's going to be, hey, I want to retire. I will not be surprised. Because in those 2 years, I think he's getting something like what? $31 million a year? $31 million a year. In all honesty, James Harden has had moments in the past with Houston, especially when he was with Chris Paul, to win championships. He had an amazing supporting cast, but he just didn't deliver. Like, if we're being honest here, he didn't deliver. Now he's in Philly with Joel Embiid, hoping without any injuries. And PJ Tucker just signed with the Sixers. He's a great player, a great supporting cast. He knows his role, and I'm hoping they at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least, ladies and gentlemen. Because if they don't, James Harden is going to be one of those players that is just, yeah, it's James Harden. Yeah, he was an MVP, but he wasn't really an MVP caliber because he's never taken, he's never won a conference title. At least. He's never won a conference title. So, yeah, these two players, Kyrie Irving and James Harden, it's really a show and prove season for them. These two players, it's really a show and prove season for these two players. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Hey, let's really wait and see. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts, your comments in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Would love to hear what you guys think about it. And yeah, that's it for today. My name is Titi Mafuta from the Titi Mafuta podcast. Ndioyo.